Hey everybody, how is everybody doing? Happy Sunday and welcome to Pink Melanin Survivors. I am your host and creator of Pink Melanin Survivors, Irene Smith, and let's get into it. So, today's topic is how did you manage your finances as a breast cancer survivor? So, when I was going through my journey as a survivor, when I was going through my treatments, I'll say that. So the first half of my journey, which was 2014, I was still surviving off of my jobs, the last maybe paycheck from my last job, which was Bright Horizons that I worked at. And then I believe it was short-term disability that I was surviving off because I had applied for Social Security, but Social Security did not approve me yet, and it took months before they approved me. So then I was surviving off of my income tax money in 2014 after I had my surgeries and started my rounds of chemo. So that's how I survived the first half of my, financially. I had 3 children. I had to pay rent and electric, and it was budgeting at its finest. It was hard. I had my mother, I had my sister, but again, it was a little difficult trying to survive off of just that little bit of money, that you get. And then when I finally did get Social Security disability, the retro money came in clutch. It came in handy a lot. The retro money that from when I initially applied for Social Security disability, I got that money. And then moving forward monthly, the money that I had was, just enough to pay for the rent, the electric, and whatever other bills that I had, food, all of that. Thank God that I qualified for all of the government assistance because I was not working and I was on disability. So, the SNAP benefits came in handy at the time, and it was a little hard managing because you don't get that much, you really don't get that much. And a lot of people think because you're on government assistance, you're living this extravagant life for free. No, it doesn't even work like that. When I applied for food benefits, they automatically told me you're going to get this much because you got that much for Social Security disability, and that was nothing. So it was one of those things where you're like, how do you take care of 3 children, 3 preteens at this time? 2 of them were boys, on $200 in food benefits, So that was a challenge in itself. Then I had, then it was slowly increased. Also, it just increased or decreased, depending on whatever type of income that I had coming in. It would increase or decrease. So for people out there who think that because you're on government assistance, you're living your best life, you're right. Try, a lot of people think, $300 is a lot of money, or that's a lot to get a lot of food. It's really not when you have growing teenagers in your household. So with disability, I was only qualified for about $200 and some, almost $3 in food benefits. I don't know how it increased, but it slowly increased as the years passed. But going by after, I received my food benefits. Then it was trying to figure out, how am I going to clothe my children. There was always a stress factor of, okay, now I have to clothe my children. And thank God at the time, it wasn't a big, they were still small, and I could still get away with them shopping at getting fun shirts and tools, at Walmart or Kmart. Let me tell y'all, Kmart was my thing. I was just talking about this the other day, but Kmart was it for me because they had the layaway plan. That was how I was able to keep the children clothed, was because of layaway. Because I could not afford to get them clothes here and there, so layaway was my thing with the children. And I knew, okay, I'm going to get paid this month with my disability check, and then I'm going to get paid, again, to pay it off. Or then I had my mother or my sister, they would help me pay off the layaway in order for me to clothe the children. So my finances were very, very tight, being on disability, because I'm not knocking anybody who is, and, but I've been on it, and you cannot survive off of that. People who are on disability, I know they're struggling. It's a day-to-day struggle. That really needs to be fixed, but that's a whole nother story. But it's a day-to-day struggle being on Social Security disability and trying to survive, and now with the cost of living, even though I know that they just raised the Social Security income, but that is still not enough to survive and to take care of a family. Trust me, I know. So all of these years, dealing with, living on Social Security, I couldn't work. I couldn't work. I couldn't do, half of the things that I really wanted to do. And it wasn't up until 2017 when my goddaughter was born, and that little bit of income that I got helped a lot. A lot of people don't realize the income that you do get, here and there, taking on babysitting gigs and stuff. That helps a lot because, every little bit counts. And so my finances were, they were so tight. You guys don't know, they were so tight. I don't think I've ever really bought anything for me. I always made sure my hair was right. If I'm gonna buy something, it's definitely gonna make sure my hair is right, because I could just walk out the house like I'm doing now, just eyeliner and lip gloss. But as long as my hair is right, I could care less what I'm wearing. I always wanted to make sure my children look decent and everything, because I know how to take care of my clothes. When you have children young, we have younger children, I was never the one, and I don't knock anybody who does do this, but I was never the one to buy expensive gear for my children. That just wasn't me, because I know how my children were, and I wasn't going to get on them or discipline them for being children. So I never bought them expensive clothing or shoes. They would wear Walmart, Target, or Kmart. Well, not Target, because Target was that was a luxury in my budget. So now I'm bougie, y'all. I go to Target and I'd be like, Walmart, what? What? Walmart? That's me. And but no, so that was just me. So like I said, I don't knock anybody who does it with their children, because your children probably know, but I knew my children, they were rough on clothing and on shoes, on socks, just rough for everything. And so I just never, one, it was never in my budget to splurge on expensive clothing for my children. Two, I'm not going to give children that they can't even grasp taking care of $100 sneakers or, very expensive clothing or jeans. If it was left up to me, they would have been in sweatpants this entire, their entire lives. So that's what, I'm sorry guys, my hands are like really thirsty. They're dry. I washed my hands and I forgot to put lotion on it. And, so I never did that. And like I said, my finances were just, it was just so tight. I couldn't, splurge on what I really wanted to get them. Even when income taxes came, when I was going through my journey, and way before then, when they were really small, I would always make sure that everything was in order and intact. So then it came down to, now that I'm no longer working, I don't have that yearly income tax to, to claim the children and to make sure. And that right there was a struggle, because you really depend on your income taxes if you're having a rough year. And I did not receive that because I wasn't working. So that was hard. And so it's my finances, budgeting. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not an irresponsible spender, because it's like any extra money that I do have after I pay my bills and the rent and everything like that, now I have to buy necessities. I need toilet paper, I need toothpaste, I need mouthwash, I need deodorant, we need feminine care products, we need body wash, we need, what else do you need? Just anything that you need in the household is what the rest of my money would go to. And I never really had the money to splurge or take care of other things that I know I should have taken care of, but I couldn't. Say, for instance, my car. It was just one of those things where you're like, you really cannot survive off of disability, because I have a car and my money is going to rent, car insurance. It's just not feasible at all. So I guess the question is, how did you manage your finances being a survivor, or cancer survivor, a breast cancer survivor? Because it was hard for me. And that's another thing that plays into your mental health, because when you're stressing all the time about how you're going to pay this and pay that, that's a big stress factor, because everything is revolved around money. I saw a meme, I want to say the other day, and it was so funny, or somebody put it was either on TikTok or Instagram, on Instagram or TikTok, because let me tell you guys, that all last week, I couldn't even get on. And I was scared, and I was praying and praying and praying, because someone hacked my page, my personal page. And if they got into my personal page, that means I couldn't have gotten on Pink Melanin's page, like this page. So now I'm sitting over here, like this whole weekend has been like, how do I get a backup page? Like, I need to link my Pink Melanin page to my other breast cancer page that I have on Facebook here. So I need to figure out a way to link that to the other page, because it took me until Friday. Was it Friday? Thursday or Friday? Yeah, Friday. It took me until, no, it was Thursday that I finally got, I was adamant in getting my page back. Like, I didn't tweet it Facebook, I didn't Instagram Facebook. I did everything. I was just, it was just crazy. It was very tedious, but I got it done. But anyway, so I saw this meme that said, how is it that all of us are living on one planet and we're paying bills to someone else? How does that even work? It was something along those lines. And I sit here every day like, yeah, like who was in charge of that? Because we all got on this world the same way, kinda, like, who was in charge of us paying this person or that person? Like, who made these decisions? Because now it's getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. And even people who have 2 income households or 3 income households, it's still a struggle. There should be no reason that people are struggling out here when when they have multiple families or multiple people in their homes able to work. Like, I have 3 teenagers. They're able to work. And my daughter, she now works with me, and she does the best she can, but I want her to get a car. Do I put my responsibilities on her? I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right. I mean, yeah, she needs to learn responsibility. A lot of people will argue that. They will disagree with that. But for me, I feel as though she should enjoy her money. You know? Yeah, there's going to be times down the line where, you know, I will say this. My daughter, if I tell her no, she'll tell me, Mom, what do you need? Mom, I'm going to help you with this. Mom, here. And I don't even expect it. I don't even ask. But that's just who she is. Same with the twins, you know. I hear a lot of people, oh yeah, them twins need to get out there and get a job now. Well, first, pause, because these are not twins. Now, my thing was, I want them to graduate high school. So, just like Tina, Ian and Ethan will graduate high school, and then we will worry about a job. Depending, you know, like she decided to take a year off from school. I don't want her to get too comfortable with not being in school. She's going to go back to school in the fall. So it's one of those things where I'm like, Tina, I know you want to help me out. She's trying to get her car, and I want her to put away money for her to have, so when she does go back to school, she has a little cushion. That's what my plan for her is, and that's what I want her to do. I do appreciate the help that she gives me, but this is what I want her to do. The same goes with Ian and Ethan. When they get their jobs, yes, if you want to help mommy here and there, I don't mind it, because you do need to learn responsibility, but at the same time, you need to start managing your finances as well. Make sure you get a car. And I also want them, I don't want my children to have to go through the struggles that I went through. So, you know, me as a single mom, I do struggle. I don't let people know it, but I mean, you guys know it now, but I do struggle. Not to the point where it's like, oh, I can't feed my children or I can't do this, but I do struggle. If I know I can't afford something, I'm not going, or I'm not going to get it. Or, you know, if you guys don't hear from me, it's because I know I cannot go out. It's like, nah, I got food at home, or this or that. Sometimes I do forget, and I forget to cook or thaw out meat or something, and I'll order out, but it's something that I know I can afford, you know. But I don't want my children to have to do that, and especially when you're on a fixed income, it's the absolute worst. And I want to show my children that, look, this is what you do with your money when you have it. Because not saying that I wasn't taught that. I was taught that. My mom, she when I was brought up, she taught me that. And then watching her work 3 jobs, like, my mom struggled, but we would have never known that, because my mom, like I said, she worked 3 jobs. And I remember she worked at Hillside. If anybody remembers Hillside on South Broome Street, she worked on Hillside. My mom worked at Caldor, and she worked another job before she got into retail, or, you know, like, but she worked a few places. And my sister and I always remember, like, my mom would cook. I mean, she would definitely cook when she had her days off, or if she was in the mood. But I remember always eating out. I always remember, like, oh, we're going here today. Oh, and we did not have a car, y'all. Let me tell you, my mom was, and when we did have a car, oh, we was going. You never saw us at the house. Never. Because we were out night riding in the summertime and everything. And those are the memories that I want to instill in my children. But financially, she would tell us to always have money and have a cushion. But, you know, when you're young, you don't listen. You know, you don't listen, and then you're stuck in a situation where, one, you either have children, or you're just someone who just likes to spend money. I had children, and because I didn't listen to my mother, I had children before I could set up a good cushion to make sure things were okay. It was it was hard. It ended up being hard for me. It ended up being very, very hard for me. Hey, Nadine, how are you? I'm just seeing your comment. Thank you for joining. How are you? I'm trying to, there we go. I don't know how fake, there we go. Here we go. I'll put the love on there. I miss you, girl. I miss you. So, but yeah, so being on a fixed income was hard, and I do wish that, I was able to save some money. You would think, there was a few gigs that I had where, while being on fixed income, at first I was able to save money, but then I couldn't. And then I ended up getting a job, and it's like, now, everything is like going here, going there, going here, going there, like all my money is just hard. So I'm trying to show the children responsibility, but I also want them to, save your money. Yes, you can help me. That's a responsibility. You're going to eventually have to pay somebody to live somewhere, when you decide to move out. If you don't want to move out, that's okay. I gave my children until the age of 25 years old to stay with me. Why? Because I want them to be able to get a car, pay your car off. I want them to build their credit. I want them to have money in their savings account as well as their checkings account. I want them to be able to have a decent career. Don't just settle for any job. I want my children to find a career that they are good at and that they actually love, and save your money. Build from that. I want them to be able to get not even just an apartment. I want you at a young age to buy your first home. This is why I try to show them financial responsibility. I was not saying I wasn't responsible, like I said before, but my finances were more for the children. Now, before I had the children, I wish I was more responsible. When I think back now, I sit here and I'm like, dag, I had a job since I was 14 years old. Can you imagine how much money I would have had if I saved every paycheck after I helped my mother? If I saved every single paycheck that I had, as well as my income taxes, I would have been okay. And if I continue that up until I had my first child, I would have been okay in my savings, probably. I would have had a decent cushion, I believe. But, I didn't do that. It just didn't happen. And, but I want my children to do that. And when I look at my children, I can say they're a lot more responsible, financially responsible than me. Okay, I'll say 2 out of 3. One is exactly like me. But he's getting there. Other than that, though, the other two, like, I can tell they're going to be penny pinchers. They're going to be a little bit more hesitant to spend their money unless they have to, or give their money away unless they have to. Like, I can tell. My other twin, he has a big heart, so he's like, here, oh, I bought this for you, and I'm sitting here like, why? Everybody else got their own money. Why are you spending your money on people who has their own money? I just did. I didn't feel like, so I already know how he's going to be, and I'm sitting here like, stop that, because it took me the longest time to, and I'm still working on it, to just start saying no. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to say no to people. None, respectfully, but I'm still working on that. No. So when y'all hear a no out of me, don't even question why. Don't even try to make excuses. Just because I'm working on myself and I'm trying to get there. It's just going to be a no. I'm not explaining why I said no. It's just going to be a no. And so I'm trying to teach my children financial responsibility right now. But for the most part, me being a survivor and handling my finances was one of the biggest struggles I had to deal with. Honestly, I want to say that was the biggest struggle besides having actual cancer. Because once your income is cut down, that's stressful. It's stressful. And for anybody who had to deal with that, you know how stressful it is, especially like, okay, last month, I spoke to a beautiful woman. I mean, like, she is going through cancer. And I still think about her, and I really need to reach out to her because she's been on my mind from the conversation that we had, and just knowing the stressors that she's dealing with. And she's just like me. Yesterday on yesterday's live on Instagram, I was talking about coping mechanisms and how my coping mechanism was to just go into survivor mode and maintain normalcy in the household as if I'm not going through something myself. And when I had this conversation with this woman, she's going through the same thing. And it breaks my heart. And it really breaks my heart to know there are other women out there going through the same thing. Or people, period, who's battling cancer. You know, you're trying to maintain a sense of normalcy, but at the same time, you forget you're going through something as well. And knowing that this woman was stressing about finances and how is her family going to be taken care of, because it is a two-person income in that home. You know, your husband or your husband is out here stressing how is he going to manage the bills? You know, how is he going to manage, you know, taking care of the children while your spouse is down for the count until they're back to, you know, until they get back to feeling well. That's stressful, not only on the patient, but the family as well. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. Coping mechanisms. What did you adopt? How did you handle your situation, your cancer, your diagnosis? And that's the same with financially. It was hard for me, and that was a big stress factor, financially, and that was harder on me than actual cancer or having to deal with anything else, was financial stability, because where I was once working and now I'm getting only almost $1,000 a month. Rent is over $1,000. You see what I'm saying? And so that's hard. That's something that you're like, hold up. How are people supposed to survive off of this fixed income, knowing that even beforehand, rent is $1,000 and up, you know, and you're paying people $800 to $900, and if they have children, that's the added income that comes along with it. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's even right. It shouldn't even be legal. But unfortunately it is. So, you know, I don't want my children to have to deal with the struggle or the stressors that I have been through. And that's why I am like constantly feeding them how to handle their money, what to buy. If you're like my daughter, I told her, if you're gonna, make sure you have all your necessities first. Buy all of your necessities before you splurge with your check, because, you know, a new bedroom set, all of that stuff can last until you are able to get in the position where you can buy a new one. You know what I'm saying? Same with the twins. You know, I want Tina to get her first car. I want her to just prepare for the next few months. Same with the twins when they do get a job. Now, if Ethan and Ian decide they want a job sooner, I'm not going to argue with them if they want a job sooner, but they know after graduation, you're getting a job. Especially if you don't go to college right away, you're getting a job, you know. So that's what today's topic is about. You know, how did you manage your finances? Was it hard for you? Was it easy? Did you have the help? Did you have the support? You know, how did you handle your finances? And that's it. So thank you guys again for joining Pink Melanin Survivors. I truly appreciate the help. I mean, the support, the help. Yes, because when you guys share, you're helping, getting that word out there. So I truly appreciate, you know, your support, viewing and tuning in on these days. I try to keep it at 30 minutes like I've stated before, because I know everybody doesn't have a whole hour. Now, maybe when it gets popping, you guys might want to tune in for an hour. But I know for me, after a while, I'll start rambling. But anyway, so again, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, I would love to hear your stories. I would love for you guys to share, like, and follow my Pink Melanin page. Please let any and everybody you know who may be dealing with breast cancer, please share this page to them. Also, I do have a Facebook private Pink Melanin Survivors group, because I do know there are some women out there who just don't want, they may want to talk about their situation with other survivors, and you know, because they can relate more. So I do have a private group just for survivors or women who have been recently diagnosed or going through it at the moment. Presently, that private page is just for them. That private group is just for them. So if you know anybody, please send them to that group. That way, I'm actually going to post the link later on today on the page, on this page. So again, I would like to hear your stories. I would like to hear your feedback. Please inbox me if you have any questions, or if you would like for me to read your story or your testimony. Inbox me on all three platforms, which is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you can also email me at pinkmelaninsurvivors@gmail.com. So I'm always available, and I promise you guys, I am going to continue. Like, I really need to start making it to where I can give you guys notifications of when I'm going live. So I think I am just going to go ahead and try to do that. But for the ones that have been tuning in, thank you. Also, please look me up on YouTube. Anything you've missed on this live, I loaded up on YouTube, and you can watch all of my episodes there. So again, I truly appreciate all of your support. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Please have a blessed Saturday. And for all of my viewers who are on the East Coast, please be safe. We're gonna have a winter storm tonight and tomorrow. If you're off, please stay warm. If you have to go out, please stay safe tomorrow or tonight, because I know there's some night shift workers. But again, please stay safe, you guys. I will see you next week. Talk to you soon. Bye bye. Peace, love, and blessings.